right, we are back. Welcome back to Pro Bikini News Network. I'm your host, John Elgandy. And in today's video, we're going to be recapping the Spain Pro show and the East Coast Pro, also previewing this weekend shows, which is the Iron Games and the Romania. I am going to touch upon the other two shows, but I don't see many big stars in it. But I'm also going to talk about those and who are most likely will be the front runner to win it. I do have footage from the East Coast Pro, so I am going to talk about that. And shout out to Battle Up Productions, Battle Up Media. Thank you for making those athletes look good with that black backdrop, the dark screen, so I could just focus on them. They did a great job, Freddie and the team, and I appreciate them so much. So I'm giving them a shout out. Do their shows. They are doing video and media for NPC National, so hit them up. They'll make them look good. And I just hope they don't do a changing colored background for Nationals, just for the amateurs. But we'll see how that goes because of obviously sponsors and stuff. We have to understand that. So we'll talk about Spain first, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Wu Bai. She won the Kazakhstan Pro, so she is qualified. She did win another show in Asia, I think, before the Olympia. So she got Olympia qualified. Kate Carroll, we assumed, would win New Zealand, and she did. It was a 1-point difference between her and the second place girl. I didn't have any stage footage from it, but I saw the backdrop. It was like this pinkish blue. It's just this whole red pinkish screen. They got to stop doing that. I don't know, but I mean, they've had a show in Oceania in many years, like not even a show in Australia. And I remember even asking why they don't have any pro shows like the Australia Pro in Australia, but because of COVID and all that stuff, they pretty much couldn't do it. And Tony couldn't do the Australia Arnold Classic, so that had to stop. So now they just do a lot of NPC shows and like 2 national shows a year. I mean, I say never, but I'm hoping it does grow out there because people that turn pro in like those New Zealand, Australia, they got to go and fly to like Europe or come to the States to come and compete and qualify. And you see Kate Carroll doing that, and she's won now 2 shows in the U.S. And to me, I think she's going to be a top tier girl in many years. But anyways, we're going to get into Spain first. So we're going to talk about the top 6. We did have Jazzy winning, and we assumed she would win, and she won. So let's go into our 5th place girl. I think her name is Canella. So this physique is good. I just think she needs to fix her front pose. And I mean, this is a like worm's eye view, so you're looking at it from below. So almost kind of like what the judges are seeing. But this is from a videographer from L'Oreal Photo. Her makeup could use just a little more to her. I think that she is too she needs to come in more fuller in the delts because you can see very much leanness in this, and she just needs more like upper glute right here. You can see for that. This pose, it could just be tweaked a little bit. Like I just think she just needs a little more shoulder, just a little bit more up top and a little bit more to balance out her lower body. But overall, I think this is a good spot for her and how she placed. So let's go to her back. So in her back, I feel like she's a little wide. She's like a little wider. She has shorter glute inserts, so she just needs more, fullness of hop. Tie-ins are good. I think she just needs to maybe bring her feet just slightly a little in development. But she's a younger competitor. I could tell she just needs overall just more time and more size to her. But overall, this is a good physique for her. I don't know how her presentation was. I just think you could fix a couple things with makeup and posing, obviously coming in more fuller and not too lean. And, I think she was kind of like almost on the smaller side. And that's probably why she placed the way she did. Like I said, I wasn't at the show, so I don't know what the judges saw, but good work for her. All right. And here we have 4th place, which is Irene. I had to go through her first couple photos because she had her hair kind of like on her. But she fixed that when she walked back. I think, she's got a great S shape. For her, I think that she just needs to be a little more upright in this and just have her hand position, not like towards the middle of her belly button, just a little more out. I would kind of fix this. Like I said, I think your front pose needs to be, hold on. Her front pose just needs to be a little bit more elevated. I think she just needs to relax this elbow because it's like her left shoulder is going a little bit more higher than her right. But makeup, her suit's great. This is a pink suit. The lighting did kind of throw off to make it look kind of like this darkish red, but it is a pink suit. I'm good. But you know, the great S curve for like for her for upper body, but she needs to like I think fix her arm because I sometimes notice that her arms go way out. She just needs to like relax and bring it in because it kind of is getting that like lat flare a bit. And she has a longer torso, so that's one thing that she has to like minimize is how much space she gets because it's like her elbow, her shoulders need to match to her elbow to her glutes, so she just needs to bring this just a little bit more in right here. But overall, this is a good package from her. She took third at her last show. This is one of her best plays, and she's now getting into the top 5. In the past, she's always made like top 10 and just been like in that 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th placing. And she's getting better every show. And she is competing again this weekend, so I am gonna talk about her again. Let's see. Go here. So back pose, pretty solid. Like I said, I feel like she just needs to fix her foot position. She got great glute fullness. I think she just needs to leave a little more tighter. Got great tie-ins. Um, Shoulders are good. This hand positioning is good. The hair could be a little bit cropped above her lower back. She's got, like I said, she got nice hair, but she's got to make sure that, you know, it's kind of tamed towards like it's not going to be covering so much in the front and, you know, covering the parts that we need to see. But suit cuts fine on her. It's a great balanced physique that I like, and I do like this physique on her. I do like what she's bringing and how she's improving every year. But I could see, I think someone just had that better posing, and that's probably why she plays the way she did. But I would just fix, I would just fix a little bit in her front, a little bit in her back, and I think that could really bring herself up and help her move up. All right. So in third, we had Chantel Hill. She's an Olympian. This is I. So we kind of like got to the pose, but obviously she's about to move into a transition. But this is a good look from her. Like the blue suit, makeup's fine. I think for her, she just comes in a little too conditioned in her legs, and you could see it. Sometimes she's vascular in her arms, and in her shoulders, and her delts. Like you could see, the first thing I'm looking at is her bicep right here. Just needs to come in just fuller and all. But she's brought a better physique than she has in the past. You know, biggest issue for her was her glutes in the front and then her glutes in the back. But I definitely think she's brought that up. But I feel like that girls ahead of her had just a little bit more than what she had. Um, this is good foot placement for her. She's giving herself a little more space. In the back, I mean, she, like I said, she's a more thicker waist and she's a more thicker waist, so that's kind of one thing she has to, like, you know, find ways to minimize it. She can have her hair a little bit more down. She is a little bit wider in the back. Glutes are great in the back. It's just like I feel like for her, she's just a little too tight. You can definitely see right here. Like I said, I'm not at the show. I don't know. I just felt like she just needs to bring up her legs. Just, I think for her right here, if I'm looking at it, she just needs to bring up her legs just a little bit just to match her glutes. She's got great glutes and she's improved so much. And she just needs like a little bit more like projection to help make her stand up. But she's improved from the front and, you know, she's gotten better from the back. But I just think for her, needs to find a way to come in fuller and just bring that all together. But overall, good package that she's brought. Also hand positioning just needs to lower that a little bit. Then again, I looked through a couple photos and I had to like pick the one that was like the best shot for her, and there was not many that was like in position. So I do think that if I was to give her any critique, it was just fix hands, just bring just a little bit more, and I think she'll be moving up a lot. She did win this show last year, so you know, obviously going against the top girl is going to be very difficult to go against, but you just have to make sure that you bring it all together and have that physique that, you know, and obviously nailing the peak. Right. Second place, we had Rania, and I think this is one of the best she ever looked. Um, I think she's minimized her makeup, which is great because she used to have like red makeup, and I would look at that first. I do think it could be a little better. Um, One thing is for her, she has to find ways to like pose to make her waist look smaller. She is on the thicker waist side. She has, great hamstring, great glute protection, but I do feel like she just comes in way too lean, way too hard. You can definitely see lines in her legs right here, in her back. You can see, calf striations. She just needs a little bit more shoulder, just come in more fuller right here at the top. And I think if I was to say anything about her in the front, I would just be like, get a different suit top. I almost feel like it's going to be a wardrobe malfunction. You can kind of like see it's kind of like, I don't know if I'm seeing it right, but it does kind of look loose at this connector right here. But overall, great physique and great presentation that she always brings. Let's see in the back. Her front is good, but it's just in her back. She just comes in way too lean, which like you could see like deep like lines in her hamstrings. Got great glutes. I just think for she sees more upper glutes in the back. I would fix the hair because you do see little pieces of hair going on top of her glutes. I would just like crop it right here, just have it like brush back. You do see like you calf striations right here in her, and I mean one thing about the European competitors is and I've always said this, is that they come in way too lean, way too hard, way too conditioned. I just think she just needs a little bit more glute projection, just needs a little be more tighter in the glutes, and just, coming in not too conditioned, because she has great tie-ins, but it's just sometimes she just comes in way too lean, and you're seeing that right here. Like it's almost like a ham rope going from her hamstrings to her lower glute inserts, and she's got great genetics. It's just I think he has to find a way to bring that all together, and some girls may have something better than her, and that's what first place had, and that's I feel like why she had the place. But honestly, she brings great stage presence, brings great confidence. But I do feel like it's the physique that she brings against others, and it always is gonna be on the lineup that you're up against. And I do think, I mean, she's moving up in points, and she's getting third, fourth, fifth places. I mean, a lot. But I do think she could eventually qualify. But winning a show, it's going to depend on who she's up against. But great overall package from her. I do think that if I was to give a little bit more critique, it would just be, like I said, come in fuller, and nail the peak. Let me exit out of these. Don't want too much going on. Exit out, exit out, exit out, exit out, exit out. And we have our winner, which was Jazzy, which we assume would win. I mean, probably the best front pose out of all the girls. You do see vascularity here, but it doesn't really affect any of her placing. But it does not affect her. I mean, she nails it. She looks on point, right fullness, right peak. She nailed it. Love the suit on her. I mean, I like the green suit. I mean, we've seen too many red suits, but I feel like everybody in red suits now going to pink. But yeah. I mean, tan looks great on her. Makeup was well done. Obviously, great stage presence. You could just see it. She's like smiling. She's like happy to be there. I mean, she's done what, back-to-back shows from the Olympia to Prague to now Spain. So happy to see that she finished it. I mean, probably like the balance that she has from upper to lower body is right there. And sometimes Jazzy's like a hit or miss. She comes in way too soft. She comes in way too conditioned. This is where she actually nailed it. And, obviously with a perfect score, makes sense to why she was our clear winner. In the back, I mean, the balance that she has, how small her waist is, the balance from hamstrings to the glute tie-in, glute hamstrings, tie-ins, from glutes to tie-ins. I keep getting my tongue, I'm getting twisted with words, but she just pretty much nailed it, and it was on point. I mean, the balance that she has, what she's brought, how her hair looks, like this is everything well done. She is a top Olympian. She's one of the best in the world. She nails it, and she gets this win. I do think for her, if I was to say anything, it's just, I don't think it's a big deal, but I would say like a little bit more glued up top. But I think she's pretty much got it down. And if she can work this formula, and then coming into next year, whether she chooses to compete or not, I do think that Jazzy's going to be one who'd go for the Olympia title within the next year or two. So congratulations to her. We're going to be moving on to East Coast Pro. Okay, let's go here. Fifth, we had Yulia. So, love the makeup. I love the suit on her. This is a great physique that she's brought. I mean, she's getting third, fourth, fifth places in a lot of shows. She's always going to be a top call-out girl in any show that she is in. She's one to be looking out for, and I honestly think that sometimes she gets overlooked, but I don't think she gets. But to me, in this show, she's not overlooked at all. I do think sometimes she comes in a little too hard in the legs, and so that's sometimes you have to look at that. But great glute fullness from her, up top. I mean, the first thing I'm looking at sometimes is like her shoulders. So I feel like maybe she could maybe bring her shoulders down. Then again, I don't know what her feedback was, but this is a good front pose on her. Right in the back, I mean, this is really well balanced. I do think, like I said, she comes in a little too conditioned. You do see some lines right here in her hamstrings, so and her quad sweeps, you could see her protrude out. But I feel like she's doing that so that it balances her glutes to her legs. So it doesn't look like she's too glute dominant. Um, she's posing very well right here. The hair is great. It's right where you want it. Makeup's well applied. Everything's well applied for her. She really doesn't have an off look that I think it's way too much. If she's off, it's because of coming in way too conditioned. That's what I feel like kind of docks her down, if anything. But honestly, she's very consistent in any show that she's in any pro show that she's in. She's obviously someone to be looking out for, like I said. But I do like what she's bringing. I do like this bluish purple suit on her. I think it looks great. And I think she should continue to compete. I do think that she's up there in the points, so I do believe that she can eventually be one of those girls in any show that she's in and be a front runner to win it. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks, but I'm happy with what she's brought. In fourth, we had Ashley Hampton. So I had our top six kind of right, but how they placed after was totally off. Let me see how I'm actually going to look how I did after the show, but Ashley she's got a great look. I love the suit on her. I think that if I was to say anything, it's just bringing that all together, also with the stage presence. From her right here to how her glute rounds out, it's really well balanced. This is like right with her shoulder to elbow to glute. It's like all in line right here. Makeup's really well applied to her. I know Ashley because I know Ashley Hampton because I know the suit color on her. I think she should stick to it. That's how I recognize her. This is a great fun pose from her. I just think she needs to be a little more tighter in her core, but she's showing her physique and her S curve very well. So in her back, I do think it's a good back pose. I do think she just needs a little more legs just to balance out with her glutes, because you could see it's almost like one straight line, but she has great separation of glutes to hamstring tie-ins right here. I do think she just needs to fix this back pose a little bit, because it does feel like her left is going a little bit out a bit. But overall, I mean, this is a solid package from her. I do love her hair. I do like her shoulders and how it matches everything out. There's a great balance, but I feel like it's just certain things that could knock her down to where someone else had a little bit more, and that's why she placed the way she did. But this is a solid package from Ashley. I think that she's getting better every year, and I do think within a couple years she's definitely someone to be looking out for, and she's going to be a great competitor down the line. So great package of what she brought, and looking forward to seeing what she does in the next show. All right, third we had Sharon. She did win a pro show, so going into this, she was hoping to get her Olympic qualification. I think for her, it's just needs to. I think for her, it's sometimes nailing the conditioning part, and sometimes it's like if she nails it, she's up there, and if she's not, she's kind of lower. Um, her front, I feel like, is pretty solid. I do think she just needs to be a little bit more upright. She has a beautiful look. She has, great hair, suit, makeup, everything. Um, this front pose, I feel like her foot's it's not too, that doesn't look too bad, but she shows off her physique very well. I do kind of think she could just maybe lower the shoulder just a little bit because it's a little up right here. But this is a great solid front pose from her. You could see the glute projection, upper glute right here, and then how it goes into the hamstrings. I just feel like for her, a couple of tweaks right here, she always brings in great stage presence and always poses with confidence. And you can see it when she's smiling like that. She's like happy to be there, and she's confident that she can do very well. In her back, I just think like I said, this is always a conditioning thing. I just think she needs to be just a little bit more tighter in the back. I don't know if it's the tan, but I feel like her adductors are protruding more, like right here. I would just kind of, I think she needs to just maybe bring her feet a little bit out, which would help her front post, because it kind of looks like it's very stiff right here and rigid. But great suit, great hair. I just think for her, it's just nailing the conditioning. It's just going to be depending on who she's lined up against. I think if she gets it right place, right time, and timing of the peak, I definitely think that she's one to be winning a show and getting her qualification. I mean, she's up there, so having a pro win gives her a little bit of confidence. So then it's going to motivate her and pull her through to go for the next show to try to qualify. So I'm looking forward. I'm thinking I don't know if her coach said this was her last show of the year, but I mean, if it is, I'm looking forward to seeing what she does in 2026, and whatever show she's in, she's definitely be one to look out for. And, I'm happy to see that she qualified for the Olympia this year and that she's got a pro win. So going into 2026, she has a lot of momentum and has a lot of build up going into it. So then with a good off season, I definitely think that they're going to find that formula and nail it, and we'll see what goes. All right. So in second, let me get this up. Go to here. Do we have any stage video? Yeah, we do. Here we go. So here's Evie. I like when I have individuals of their photos, so like you could see everything in motion. So I can give you a bit like a play-by-play of what's going on. Let's redo it again. Here we go. All right, let me pause here. So here's Evie. I definitely think that she brought a great look to the stage. I do like the red suit on her. She always brings, a great package every show that she's in. I do feel that she just needs to she just needs to fix. One thing for her is like she comes in a little too lean, and you can sometimes see it in her shoulders and the vascularity that she has. But from what I was told, that she just needs to bring a little bit more volume and muscle to her physique, which was kind of not sure about how that was. But after seeing how it was, like I said, I wasn't at this show, I could understand. I do think that she just needs to bring a little bit more fuller, especially in her upper arms. It just in her next, not her upper arms, her shoulders, just to like nail that whole thing. But love the stage presence that she brings. She got an amazing physique. I just think the difference between her and Maria was one came in more fuller than the other, and that was it. Because her and Maria were like almost like twin sisters. They almost look alike, the same height, dark hair, red or pink suit. So conditioning spot on for her. Let me pull up her stage photo. I mean, from here, everything's like, I just think she just needs a little more. She doesn't. I think she kind of need a little more shoulders to help like bounce it out. That was, if I was to say anything, she is a smaller competitor. So one thing for her is just, filling out her frame with what she has. But front pose is really solid on her. The hair, the suit, the makeup, everything good. I just think she just need a little bit more in the front. That was, I think, the difference between her and Maria. Go to back. And so I saw this comment on Reddit, and they said that Evie looks a little too wellnessy, and I totally disagree with that, like 1,000%. Like Evie is not a wellness girl at all, and she does not have like a wellness kind of physique. She has more glute. Her and Maria have that glute projection to them, but they are not wellness. There's a totally different difference of like muscularity to and density to wellness versus bikini. But Evie is a bikini girl, and that is the division she's in. I don't know what people are saying that she looks too wellnessy. It's absurd. It's nonsense. But her glute to hamstrings, well balanced. This is like from the back, she's well balanced. I just feel like she just need more projection. I think that I'm going to show you Maria, but I feel like Maria just had like a little bit more to her, and that's kind of what had Evie. Like even and Maria, like they used to be like right here, like 1-1 with each other, and they could switch either places in any show. I mean, this Olympia, Evie was in the first call out, took 7th. Maria was in the second call out and took 9th. Yeah, 9th. So I mean, they're right there. They're right close to even Pittsburgh this year. So Evie's brought one of the best packages she's had in like her whole career, that since she turned pro about 5 years ago. And Maria's obviously getting up there, and I can definitely see why they placed the way they did. But I feel like she just needed us a little more projection and just a little bit more shoulders. If I was to look at anything on her. So stop sharing, and we're gonna get to Maria. Okay, here's Maria. Yeah, but the difference between her and Evie was she came in with more shoulder fullness, and in the back, I feel like she didn't, like, she came in like full and on point, so you could see it. Like she had a little bit more than Evie. And when she came out with the pink suit, I was surprised because I was like, I'm always used to seeing Maria in like a red suit or like a purple or blue suit. That's what I'm known to. But she could pull the pink suit off well. It works well with her hair and her skin tone. All right, so let me show you the top 4. Okay, let's go to this. Okay, let me move this. Okay, here we go. All right. Shout out to Battle Up Media, by the way. Okay. So this is what they initially look at when they move them in, when they start switching competitors.
Maria and Ashley switch, please.
Hold on. Don't want any copyright. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Wait. Just gotta wait for her to. They're getting too close. Okay. All right, so I'll tell you what I see. Maria had more fullness in her shoulders right here, and Evie just needed just a little bit more to fill out. Glute projection, Evie had better glute projection. You could see Maria was just, I think she needed to fix her tan. I don't know if Evie came in too darker or she was just too lighter, but maybe it could throw off with the lighting. Like this backdrop's fine. It doesn't take away from their physique. But Honestly, they're very comparable. They almost look alike. I feel like just Maria just had a little bit more to the physique, even if she didn't have the best tan. But I think it's just I think it's just the skin tone. But I think, hmm, let's see. Let's go to the back. Here we go. Wait, get a position. There we go. So I think that Maria had just a better back pose than Evie at this show. That's kind of the difference right there. Um, Evie has her tie-ins, but one thing Maria, she is a little, you could see her tie-ins like and her hamstrings protrude a little more. So I think for Evie, she just needed just a little bit more hamstring to her. All right. I think I'm gonna go back. Yeah, you could definitely see the difference. You just need a little more hamstring to match her glute. But Maria's glute and hamstrings are kind of like right there. And just more shoulders. She had a little more shoulders than Evie. I mean, Sharon and Ashley brought very similar. It was kind of like funny, like the top six almost had like they're like almost like opposite of each other, like almost like had a similar look. Like even Yulia and Zinyi had like a similar look. I don't talk about sixth place in shows, but I do because I always talk about the top five. But they're kind of like one had something over the other. That's kind of what I'm seeing right here. They kind of had like a they're almost like twins. They almost like look like someone has something over the other. But I do think that Zinyi and Evie are competing in the show, and we're actually gonna talk about the show that they're actually gonna be in. But yeah, I do think I mean it could have gone either way. I'm thinking maybe some judges maybe had Evie at the advantage, but I just think overall Maria just had just a little bit more to her. That's why she took the win and why she got I mean, it was a perfect score, straight three. It was perfect three, straight across the board for everyone. There was not any 1 point difference in the whole lineup. So I think that they had their picks and they said whoever nailed it and whoever brought the best was the one who won. And Maria had that. So that's why. And we're going to get into our shows this weekend. Let's go here. So we got 4 shows. Probably going to talk about the smaller ones before the bigger ones. So we have the Brazil show. I do recognize some names, but we only see them mostly in the South American shows, like the Brazil show. Our front runner is most likely going to be Nevea. She just took second in the Southern Muscle to Alice. She did do the Olympia this year. I'm trying to remember what she looked like. This was. I don't have anything from the Olympia. Actually, we do. One thing I like about her is that she's always smiling. She's always happy to be on stage, and you can see it. She kind of has like a Laura Lee kind of physique, but one thing I feel like is she just needs to fix some poses, especially how she stands in the back. But I'd say she's our front runner to win it. I actually like Southern Muscle more than Olympia, but I do feel like she needs to fix her suit top. Like it was better at the Olympia. So some things that she could fix here and there. Okay, let's go to Luciana Santos, she's a Olympian. She didn't qualify this year. There was only one Brazilian, which is shocking in the Olympia. I mean, Issa sat out, so we always used to have a lot. So let's see. She's one to be looking out for. Because she's an Olympian, previous Olympian. Anyone else I know? Mariana, she does well in the South American shows. She took second, I think, to Evie Escobar a couple years ago. She's taller. She has a longer torso. She did compete in the U.S. once, but I feel like it was good to like get that kind of experience. Let's see. The lighting at the show was so dark, it was hard to see anything, but the photos that people brought was so much better. So she's one to be looking out for. Kathleen. This was one who I felt like was almost like a standout to me because she reminds me so much of she has like a Reina Perez type of physique. I think she took like 4th or 5th in one of her shows. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, this was last year. Yeah, this one. So I could tell that she's a taller girl. I think she needs to work a presentation. But yeah, she has almost like a Reina physique. Almost like when I look at her in the back, I'm like, that's Reina. If I didn't see what she looked like in the front, I wouldn't. I would be surprised. With the shoulders, the delts, the higher lats, the glute projection. It's almost like Reina. So I definitely think that she's one to be looking out for. And then Bruna. So she just took second to Sharon in the Brazil show. I think she just needs to fix her makeup. She's got great physique. She needs to fix her makeup and bring up her lower body to match her upper body. Because I'm looking at her shoulders first, and I just think they're way too capped. I think this is. I try not to be so harsh when someone's an amateur, but I could tell this is from her amateur days. But if I was to say what she looked like from then to the Brazil show, I just think she needs to just bring up her lower body. So I definitely think that she has a lot of potential in the future. But there was the girl that won the amateur from the Arnold Brazil this year that I thought she was going to do this show, but I don't think she's in it. I think her name is Brenda. I think is she in it? No, I know her last name begins with an I. No, she's not in it. But that's one to be. I would say that. Okay, let me find her. I really thought she was in it. Like these girls from Brazil got so much great like athletes. Like whatever happened to those glory days, man? You had like almost 5 girls in the top 10 at the Olympia. Let's see. I have her update photo, but obviously I'm trying to find when she won the Arnold. Let's see. Nope. Any stage photos? Let me pull up her check-in. Here we go. Obviously, I think this is many days out, but she's got an amazing physique. No, let's see. Anything from her last show? Obviously, she's brought everything up since I think it was in April. anything from. I don't think they had any stage photos from it. Definitely be looking out for her. Okay, so that's Brazil. We got the Hawaiian Classic Pro. I'd say our front runner to win would most likely be Rika. She is a 3-time Olympian. It's in her home state as well. She was a top Olympian. I think she got 12 like 3 years ago. But I just feel like her front, just her waist needs to be more tighter. And then just nailing it from the back, because sometimes, she can come in flat in the back. So I'd say she's most likely our front runner to win. Let's go. We have these girls from New Zealand. Let's see. What's her name? Lily? Do we have anything from the show? They didn't have any photos. Oh, that's from last year. Okay. She's got great glute density. I do think she needs to fix her. Like, yeah, it needs to be more upright in her front. This one. Cian. We don't have any stage photos. There's nothing on. See, Alessia is obviously a top girl. She's a multi-time Olympian. So she's one to be looking out for. I do think she took second in that show in Russia. So Alessia is going to be one to be up. That's up there. I heard that the girl that won that show, the Russia girl who won that show, she got 12th in Kazakhstan. I mean, that's gonna happen. Well, someone's might win a show and then they go into the next show and they might have. So people are like shocked, like they think, oh, they want a show, they're gonna be the front runner to win it. Then your placement could change depending on the lineup that you're in. Kerrigan. I think that she's going to compare well to Yurika. This is sideways. I have it on my page where they're the top two. But if Kerrigan's brought up her glutes, definitely could say that she wanted to be like, I think she could get, like, she'd be top 3 or maybe go for the win here. So I'd say between Yurika and Kerrigan for the win. Zoe, this is going to be her last show in bikini. And then she's going to be moving up to figure. But she's amazing. And I have my training video with her and she puts in work. I'll tell you this, nobody works as hard. I've seen a lot of girls, but no one puts as hard work and intensity as she does from what I've worked with her and training with her. It was fun. And I enjoyed talking with her and I enjoyed getting to know her more. So regardless of how she does, I think that she'll be great at whatever she does. Hope Harper, she took 3rd in her last show, so it's been a whole year. I always felt like she could be an Olympian. I mean, she turned pro at 20 years old at the USA's. So, anything from her back? And actually made a trophy for her for the center podium shows, so that's awesome. Nothing from the back. This was this year. Okay, so Hope Harper's obviously one up there. And then Jess Jess Feeney, she's an Olympian. So that's Hawaii. So then we'll get into see. Go into let's go back. Iron Games. I just want to talk about how I did in the predictions. So Alessia was not in the East Coast Pro, so I pretty much got 81%. I wasn't so off with some of the girls. I think when it got, like I said, I felt like when it got to like the 7th or 10th, that was when it was going to have difficulty. But our top 6 girls, they kind of like flip-flop placings. Daniela got 9th, so she was one spot over. But Jack Kinney and Tanya were outside the top 10. But yeah, it wasn't so bad here. Let's go back to Iron Games. Let's see. Go to stop sharing. All right. So our front runner to win Iron Games is going to be Amy. Let's see she did the Hurricane Pro. Like the pink suit on her, and she can pull it off. Smart to contrast the colors. If you were in red, it would look washed out and look bad. But she's the girl to beat here. She has not lost a show outside the Arnold and the Olympia since 2023. So every show that she is in, she has won. So the Arnold, she's taken 2nd. The Olympia, she's taken 6th and 4th. So every show that she is in, she is the girl to beat. And if she continue that record, I mean, that's amazing to do with now 14 pro wins. So I'd say Amy's going to be our front runner to win. It's going to be difficult for anyone to go against her. Then we just talked about Evie Zinyi. She took 2nd to Amy. She took 6th in the East Coast Pro. I think for her, it's just her front and then obviously stage presence. Because in the back, it's just like hard to beat, but it's almost like she's a little too big in the back, almost. So Zinyi, go. Let's see. Tara, she's taken 2nd to Amy before. I think she could be very comparable. It's funny because you're seeing girls with darker hair and short height be comparable to Amy. I think from the Olympia. But I just feel like her front needs to. It's just she's improved her front pros. It's just bringing her waist and bringing more fullness to her delts, because I do think she came in a little flat from the Olympia. But she was like in the 2nd, 3rd call out. So Tara's a girl to be looking out for. Judy Sun, she's a former USA winner. She took 4th on the last show she did. She's now working with a new coach. Let's see, here we go. She needs to match her back to her front. That's what I think that needs to be for her. Let me see. Here's her video. She just needs more glutes. Got an amazing physique. She's very beautiful. Let's see, we have Savannah Joy, another Miss USA winner. We have 3 Miss USA winners here that won the overall. She's a bit taller than them, so a bit taller than some of the girls. She has blonde hair. I think she just needs a little more hair in the back. When she walks back, you can kind of see how lean she is. Definitely think she's up there. And then let's see. We have Tiana. So she's an Olympian. And shout out to Tiana for opening up and on Corey's self-selecting and being open about her. Like she's young, and like I think the thing for her is that she just needs more time to obviously grow into her physique. But if she could do well, I don't have her winning, but if she can, I could see her potentially in the top 5 and get some points. And then ending the season like that. But she just needs more time to just fill out her frame. She's short, but has longer and has longer limbs. She has longer legs, long arms. She has a shorter torso. So one thing about her, she just needs to, she just needs more time to fill out frame. She's great in the back, but sometimes it feels like she comes in too hard in the front. It's going to be interesting because you see a lot of like those girls and they're like, you have girls with the same height, darker hair. It's like, well, one's not fitting the mold. Then you have someone who's about 5'5", 5'7", and who's not like us. I don't like want to sing that song like they not like us, but it's kind of like you're seeing girls who are very similar to each other in this. So, yeah, this is Romalin's pro debut. She turned pro at the Nationals. So let's see what she can do. Like I said, this is her first ever pro show, so I don't expect her to be one of those top girls, but I do see her potentially landing in the top 10 or maybe somewhere in that 11, 13th spot. Okay. Then we have Liz. I when I saw the name, I was like, wait a minute, I know who she is. She used to go to my gym, the shop gym in Virginia. And then she moved to Florida. And she turned pro with at the Universe this year. She's H class, so she's about I know she looks like. She's about 5'7". Like I said, you're gonna have that one person that's the outlier. So I don't know if I was to give her any critique from Universe, it'd just be just more upper glute. Like I said, I'm not gonna give new pros like any too much because they just turned pro and it's their debut. But as soon as they start competing in the pro league, obviously I'm going to give them critique. But if I was to say from now that she is a pro, just a little more glute and just fixing this front pose a bit. But that's awesome. She also has a TikTok and she does all these funny like skits and memes. And listen, they're corny, but they get me to chuckle. So you do a good job. If you get me to chuckle, you did a good job. So I'm gonna say that she's gonna do well. I could see her possibly being top 10, maybe just outside of it. Just gonna depend on how others look. But is there anyone else? Oh yeah, Megan. She took 7th in the East Coast Pro. Shoulder to found, good balance, bring glutes down a tad bit. Yeah, You literally hit the nail on the head. I'm looking at her shoulders first, and everyone was saying how crazy her glutes were, and she's a natural athlete. Got great times. So Megan, I think, is going to be in the top 10. Oh yeah, Aisha. This is her second pro show. I could. Oh, hold on. I think she did Arizona. I don't have anything from that. Oh, we do. I would fix the. I would get a different suit. I would get a different suit. She has a longer torso. I just think she needs to relax a bit. You can see her all tensed up in their shoulders. She's young. She's a young competitor, so I could see her maybe in that 9th, 10th spot. Okay. Then we have Romania. So Romania is going to be a big deal because the winner of the show, regardless if you have points or not, the winner automatically qualifies, just like the Arnold, just like the Olympia, New York and Pittsburgh, and Dubai. But Dubai doesn't have any women divisions, so this will be interesting. A lot of girls, there are some girls who already have pro wins here, and we're going to see how that goes. So we're going to go with going to show our girls here. I'm going to highlight. I did take a couple names from it. There were obviously girls that were in the Spain show that were in it, so we kind of did touch upon them a bit. But our front runner to win would be Victoria. She did win a show. She placed 15th in her first Olympia. She took second to Jazzy in the Prague. So going into this, she has the momentum to go and take it. If I was to say anything for her, it's like her shoulders are a little too big, and obviously she needs to just fill out her glutes in the back. Okay. Go to. So Patriza, she's an Olympian. She has a pro win. But I think she just comes in a little too hard. That's just my thing. I mean, crazy waist. It's like 0 right here. And then we did talk about Rania. We talked about Irene. Sarah. She took 3rd in Prague. So she's one to be looking after. And then Golsha, she defeated Evie in Portugal. She's an Olympian. So Golsha would be up there, I believe. And then who am I missing? Carrie. So she won this show last year. Anything from the Olympia? I can only go off her last show that I have photos from. Do we have anything in this photo collage? Any reels? Here's from Europa. I think it's going to be difficult for her just because of like how she comes in, and if basically it's going to be based off like if she nails it with the presentation and just presents the physique well, and it nails the peak. But with Victoria, and it's going to be hard to go against. Then I'm going to say, what's her Nora? She took second or third. Nora. I'm so bad at the name. She's from Hungary. She took fourth in the last show she did. I just said for her last time it was the pink suit and the blonde. She just needs to pick a different color, like a bluish or a purple or a green would work so much well for her. She has bright blonde hair, and it just looks too Barbie. And then the girl from Romania who's in this, I think Nidalku. Do I have her here? Let's see. I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad at finding names. I'm sorry if I couldn't find you. It's Maria. Maria. They have such long names. Okay. Nidalko. Front could be fixed a bit. A little vascular here. Just needs more, glutes. Yeah, she took second to Victoria, so I definitely see her in the top 10. And then I'll say that Esther girl who took 6 in Spain will be up there. All right. Is there anyone else? It's a big list. I had to just pick out. I just had to pull out girls who I recognize right away. All right. So, with that being said, let's do Romania. Let's do Iron Games first. We'll do Romania because I feel like that's gonna be harder. Okay. Let's go Victoria. Go Patriza. Golsha. Rania. Irene. We'll go Carrie. Go Nora. Nadelku. We'll go Sarah. And then we'll go Esther. Iron Games. This is a tough one. But I think after like 6, it's hard to go. So I'm going to go Amy, Evie, Tara, Zinyi. I'm going to go Tiana, Judy. Oh, shit. I'm going to go Megan, Aisha. Hold on, wait. Savannah, Megan. I'm going to go Aisha. This is tough. I'm between Liz and Romulan. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Romulan. Should I do Hawaii? I don't know. It's hard to predict Hawaii, but obviously these are the two big shows. So, I mean, look, Amy's the girl to beat. But if these girls can somehow beat Amy, you'll be talked about a lot. And I mean, Amy most likely will get her Olympia qualification, if anything. But I don't see her coming in off at all, unless something's really bad on her. Then that's when I feel like she gets knocked down. I think the last show she lost that was a regular show was Nashville to Vanya. The year she did her first Olympia, but I definitely think that these six almost are very comparable to each other. We'll just have to see what goes from there. All right, that's all I have for today. I'll upload this episode. I have Q&RA, which is going to be another one this week, which you guys submitted great questions for me. Gonna be an exciting weekend. If you guys like the videos, like, subscribe, share with your friends. I appreciate you guys. Take care.